Welcome to Return to Athens. This week, we get on target. We update you on security and profile a world champion. All that and more as we return to Athens. Shooting gold medalist Michael Diamond was in Cairo, where he took part in the ISSF World Cup. He was happy to be miles away from the controversy that resulted in his firearm licence being temporarily suspended last year. The suspension forced the dual gold medalist to miss months of training, competition and the first Olympic trial. However, officials have given him another chance to defend his Olympic title by having a shoot-off with second-ranked shooter Nathan Castles, so Diamond is using the World Cup as much-needed match practice.
The organisation of the World Cup is second to none, as always, when we come to Cairo. The targets are incredibly hard because of the background, but we are making do with it. But hopefully everybody has a good competition, and we hope to come back to Cairo sometime soon.
The competition couldn't have had a better setting, with the pyramids in the background, competitors and fans alike enjoying the event and the atmosphere. However, the champion says that he doesn't like to practice much and was enjoying the actual competition against the cream of the sport, including double World Cup gold medalist Ahmed Al Maktoum of the United Arab Emirates, only one of many top-ranking shooters preparing for Athens.
Well, so far it's just consisted of a lot of practice and a little bit of competition. I haven't been getting as much competition I'd like to have been, so therefore I've had to practice more. I don't like practice very much. I prefer to have the match practice rather than the practice alone.
Meanwhile, Diamond's hopes of a third Olympics are still alive, as he is a hot favourite to win the third and last contest against his compatriot Castles to join Adam Vella in Australia's trap shooting team at the Olympics. If Michael makes it to Athens, our medal predictor can't see anyone out shooting him for the gold. Italy should take the minor medals, with Giovanni Pagliello taking the silver and compatriot Massimiliano Mola taking the bronze. The 17 Olympic shooting events include 10 for men and 7 for women. Across a range of firearms, shooters contest in 4 different disciplines, 5 with rifles, 1 in running target, 5 with pistols and 6 events with shotguns. With the Games fast approaching, Argentina's equestrian team continue training with high hopes of winning a medal. Martin Dopazzo, Gregorio Wattin, Justo Albarracin and Ricardo Kierkegaard will most likely make up the Argentine equestrian squad. The team's qualification for the Athens Games put them among the top 15 countries of the world in horseback riding, alongside established equestrian nations like the United States and Mexico. Argentina's long-time equestrian rivals, Brazil, failed to obtain a place in the Games this year. There are 3 equestrian disciplines: cross-country, dressage and jumping. The equestrian disciplines are unique among Olympic sports in the sense that men and women compete on the same terms, and horse and rider are both declared Olympic medal winners. Gustavo Wattin, the trainer of Argentina's equestrian team, said he expects his team will do well this year.
For us, to be among the 8 teams competing in the final could be very important, and we have expectations that one of our riders will be in the final contending for a medal.
Rider and horse are considered a team, with years of training required to be able to perform at various exercises of skill, speed, endurance and jumping. However, skill and determination are not the only factors that limit your chances of participating at the Games. It's the $100,000 backing needed to get horse and rider to the equestrian event which limit the teams that qualify. Equestrian will be held over 11 competition days at the newly built Marco Polo Equestrian Centre. It includes 2 main arenas, one with grass for the jumping events and one with sand for the dressage events, as well as a separate venue for eventing, the eventing park. With security issues making headlines around the world, we speak to Greek police and Ministry of Public Order spokesman Eleftherios Economou. He confirmed the security plan for the Games has already been drawn out and agreed upon by an international advisory board assisting Greece in security planning, and that no foreign armed escorts of any kind would be permitted to provide security for their athletes during the Games.
We have repeatedly stated that foreign armed security escorts will not be permitted to come here during the Games. This is for practical reasons. It's very difficult to coordinate foreign forces and local forces who have the exclusive responsibility for security of the Games. There are 202 countries participating in the Games. Imagine if every country had armed forces. It could not be coordinated.
Economou's comments come after an article published in a British newspaper stating that armed British police will be sent to Athens to protect athletes during the Games. He said that until now, no country had made any formal request for armed escorts, and even if this was the case, the security plan was already in place and there was no room for any exceptions from any country. It was pointed out that countries of the advisory board, which included Britain, participated in the planning and completion of the security plan and were therefore aware of this.
The security plan for the Games has been finalised and there are to be no exceptions.
As the United States increases its local security measures, it was also considering providing its own protection for its athletes. This is not to discount the efforts and training of the Greek Defence Force, but merely a reaction to world events.
There is a special plan for the foreign teams that are coming here that is designed according to threat and placed in categories according to high or low risk. This is a special security plan. I can assure you measures are very strict and comprehensive, and there is no cause for concern whatsoever for any competing team.
In response, the British Olympic Association stated they were very comfortable and satisfied with the security arrangements outlined to them by the Athens Organising Committee. Security planning for the Games has been under heavy scrutiny due to the volatile global situation, with Greece spending more money than any other host nation on security preparations for the event.
In the security planning, all parameters have been taken into account. The planning is continuing according to schedule. The IOC has approved it, and foreign observers are also aware of the job being done. There is no problem whatsoever.
Greece's hefty security plan will include camera surveillance, guarding of Olympic sites, security at transport hubs and measures against chemical or biological attacks. The guarding of Greece's lengthy, porous borders will also be heightened, and NATO will provide air and sea patrols as well as protection against nuclear attacks. The stadiums fill continuously to watch this team perform. Hands down the best basketball team ever, winning gold in the Sydney Olympics to increase their win-loss ratio to 109-2. We're talking, of course, of the USA men's basketball team. The 2000 Olympics saw the American team win for the 12th time in 14 Olympics. The journey to the gold at Sydney saw the US team average 95 points a game. Often turning games into dunking exhibitions, Team USA frequently leave the opposition humiliated. Like any sport, to be the best and remain the best takes practice and lots of it. 12 players are chosen to represent the states in the Olympics, accompanied by a head coach and 4 assistant coaches. They will arrive with one thing in mind: bringing home the gold. All team players wear similar uniform, all with their numbers on the front as well as the back, along with their last name. Watching them play, there are several immediate characteristics that you notice. The most prominent and important is their ability to play as a team. Everything is done as a team, whether it's attack or defence. Each player will back up and support the rest of the team. And it's obvious that they play united with one goal in mind: winning.
Jason Kidd, it's a 4-on-1. Kidd,
While the USA team had always been strong, when the rule that forbid National Basketball Association players from participation in international events was lifted, the team's strength excelled. Coincidentally, the rule was lifted shortly after the USA lost to the Soviet Union in 1988. Reasons given were to make the game fairer, as the NBA players were the only people in the world who were excluded from playing in the Olympics. Even though the American Dream Team has since appeared unstoppable, opposing teams were still thrilled at being on the same court. In 2002, the team struggled at the World Championship, finishing a disappointing 6th place. In September last year, they arrived at the FIBA Americas Olympic qualifying tournament in San Juan with nothing to lose.
And here's Bibby with a steal.
And they did not disappoint themselves or their fans as they followed up each win with another, all leading up to the much-anticipated gold medal match against Argentina, the team who had ended their 58-game winning streak.
Nocioni. Slashing for the goal. Taking a little frustration out on the strengthen its ranks. 9 first-round picks. Look at this. Here's Tracy McGrady.
The team succeeded in a spectacular fashion, not only winning 106-73 and finishing with a clean sweep, but also qualifying the USA men's team for a shot at the goal.
106-73, your final. Larry Brown. San Juan, and they are on their way to the Olympic Games in Athens, Greece.
It's easy to say that America qualifying for the Olympic Games didn't surprise anyone. All the qualifiers for Athens have been decided. The United States, joined by Argentina and Puerto Rico from the Americas. The host country, as well as the world champions, Serbia and Montenegro.
Ray Allen, what a great move to the basket.
The European qualifiers are Lithuania, Spain and Italy. New Zealand and Australia will be heading over from the Oceania zone. From the Africa zone is Angola, with China taking the 12th and final place.
3-on-2.
The preliminary rounds will be held at the indoor arena of the Helonico Olympic Complex, which has a 15,000-seat arena. The finals will be held at the Olympic Indoor Hall at Oaka, the main Olympic complex. The seating capacity will be boosted to 18,000 for the basketball finals.
3-on-1. Carter! Oh my goodness, Richard Jefferson. Mike Bibby with a super lob, and Jefferson.
Will the United States be able to win their way to a 4th consecutive gold medal? Other possible contenders are the 2002 world champions Serbia and Montenegro, or maybe Argentina.
Oh, Nick Collison to Jermaine O'Neal. That's a great.
While you can be sure that all 12 teams will play, be cheered and be photographed, there will only be one team that will have the expectations of bringing home a lucky 13th gold medal. This week, our athlete in profile is Dayan Dos Santos, who, despite humble beginnings, is now at the top in artistic gymnastics. At the age of 11, whilst playing in a square in her town, she was spotted by a trainer from the Centre for Sports and Leisure. This association gives disadvantaged children the opportunity to become involved in sport. She showed potential and so was invited to join the GNU, one of the most renowned clubs in Brazil.
She is a very talented young lady. She is explosive and has powerful legs that allow her to do the acrobatic work.
The hours of training have become an obsession for Dos Santos, who has spent the last 10 years of her life dedicated to the sport. The Brazilian team train in the town of Curitiba, 1,400 kilometres from Brasilia, under the tutelage of their coach Oleg Ostapenko from the Ukraine. In the beginning, it was not the training she found hard, but being apart from her family. Nowadays, she's used to it, but sport, and in particular gymnastics, can be very stressful. She doesn't complain as she's received a lot, thanks to her sport, with all the effort and training being reflected in the team's results. In the last 4 years, the Brazilian team has progressed from 18th to 8th in the world gymnastics standings.
The world wants to know how Brazil has trained such a wonderful team. In only 4 years, we have practically renewed the entire team. People don't understand, and they ask Oleg and Irina and Elaine all the time, what did Brazil do to make the girls change? Imagine, we went from 18th in the world standings to 8th. We advanced 10 spots in 4 years. It's really astounding.
Good results don't come cheaply. Diane will train from 8 a.m. until noon, then resume from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. As she nears the end of her career, the importance of an education is emphasised, with her attending university classes from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. This tight schedule leaves little time for friends and family.
The only explanation is our training. You can be very talented and not train. I have to really work on my training, and to train well, to compete well.
Although she has become very independent, she relies on the support of her family and the stability it brings to a hectic lifestyle.
I hope she can continue like this, with it being so easy for her. And I hope that God protects her.
Dreams of Olympic gold have put more pressure on the Brazilian champion.
I always knew that she had what it takes to win the gold, and I base that on her technical elements. There is no one in the world that combines her type of style with her technical excellence and level of difficulty.
Dos Santos won a gold medal for her floor exercises at last year's World Championships in Europe, though her first gold medal was achieved in 1998 at the Canberra Cup in Australia. Her first overall came in the same year, as did a first in vault at the South American Games. 2001 was a good year with a first in the Pan American Games and a finalist at the Worlds. She continues this year at the pinnacle and feels she's in top form and that the current Brazilian gymnastics team is the best team ever produced by Brazil. The ever-popular artistic gymnastics are to be held over the first 10 days of the Games at the Indoor Hall, with tickets starting from €35. To our medal predictor, and the contenders in the women's floor exercise include Diane Dos Santos, and if her present form continues, she should win gold, with the US looking good for silver and bronze. News on lead-up events and the home of the 2007 Pan American Games hosted a leg of the Artistic Gymnastics World Cup for the first time. Brazil displayed the growing popularity of the sport in a country completely dominated by football. But more importantly for the sport's development, 12,000 spectators crammed into the arena in Rio to witness 56 athletes from 20 countries compete. The men's horizontal bar had been a close contest, with Morgan Ham from the US beating Yema Yerimbetu from Kazakhstan on a countback. Yema had to be content with second place in the parallel bars to Brett McClure of the US as well. While local hero Diego Hippolito claimed gold in the men's floor and vault categories.
The results of today will be in history. One family is winning 4 medals in a World Cup.
While Diego celebrated his 2 gold medals, his 19-year-old sister went gold in the beam event. On the previous day, Danielle Hippolito had won the silver medal in the isometric or uneven bars.
I think that there is no better spectacle to the Brazilian supporters than this competition. It was remarkable for the Brazilian gymnasts.
The most awaited competition was the final of the ladies' floor event. Competing was returned to Athens profile athlete Dayon dos Santos, the artistic gymnastics ladies' floor world champion. And with her new choreography, based on a Brazilian tune, she sambered her way to the highest score of the competition. Her 9.6 took her to gold for the first time at home.
First of all, we had a very good competition, you know, and that's the way we wanted it. We wanted to show our gymnastics is good, and we did it.
Carlos Nuzman was eager to savour the moment.
Since almost 8 years ago, that when we start, we had the direction to fight, to have gymnastics as a popular sport in Brazil, and in the future to think about medals in the Olympic Games.
Look out for Dayon dos Santos performing her famous Brasileirão routine on the mat at Athens. So, as August looms, remember to keep watching Return to Athens as we bring you the latest in the behind-the-scenes news and views in the lead-up to Athens 2004.